possibly be changing? Whatever. Anyways, this is episode 144 of the 3G podcast, and we're here to talk about the first day of E3. Anyone want a quick, sassy little blurb to summarize before we get into the meat?
Let's see. Microsoft, average. Bethesda, shit.
Yeah. Bethesda was really bad. Microsoft was surprisingly, like, they have everything open to the... I don't know. I don't know what I expected. Actually, I do know what I expected, because we just talked about it yesterday. I thought they would show off, you know, their new console, maybe. At least talk about it a little bit. But apparently they're doing the same thing that they did with Project Scorpio, where they just... The first year, they're just going to spew a bunch of platitudes at you and talk about how this is going to change things by strapping a better GPU into it. So, for fuck's sakes. We did get some good news, and I will go out of sequence because this is not really part of E3. It will be tomorrow, but apparently, did Nomura leak this at a fucking concert?
They just showed a trailer at the end of the concert, I think.
Okay. Apparently, we saw a new trailer for Final Fantasy VII at the end of at the end of some concert. It's up on the YouTube now. I think GameSpot has it on their channel.
It's on the official Square Enix channels.
Yeah.
I didn't actually look at the channel. I watched
it. It covers a lot of footage we've already seen, but you know they show a little bit more gameplay. Still no fucking clue how it actually works, but you got to see a little bit more of it. Again, all out of context shit, so still kind of anyone's guess, but definitely not turn-based. Still no Tifa. They didn't really show much new. They showed Cloud like flipping into the train after the first Mako bombing, and I'm going to foolishly be optimistic about that and assume that means they're trying to hit most of the major story beats, which I really want them to do. They can add new shit, but I want them to have all the old shit in there too. And we got a release date. March 3rd, 2020. So... fuck. We also got a release date...
around the time in Cyberpunk.
Yeah, we also got a release date for Cyberpunk. April 16th, 2020. That gives just about 6 weeks between the two games, and... I don't know. Sounds like some websites out there are going to need some fucking dedicated, talented, experienced guide authors to provide them some content. Maybe one who managed to write a Witcher 3 guide in 6 weeks, or a Fallout 4 guide in 6 weeks. Somebody with that kind of experience, that kind of acumen. Just as an example, not, you know, not tooting any horns or anything. But we will see on that count. So let's just go. Is this stuff listed in chronological order, Jared, or...?
I just ended up putting like in random order, I think.
Okay.
So
it doesn't matter. So we're not going to go over the Microsoft show chronologically. It doesn't really matter anyways. I will... Before we get into the actual news, I just want to cover like the tone and some of the other shit. Like, Microsoft didn't really even seem like they were fucking trying. Like, they wasted so much time on stupid shit during that show, and I don't know why. Like, I keep thinking this is going to be the year where Microsoft, they have the ability to do good shit this year. Like, Sony's not even going to compete with them. They're going to be able to show off all the fucking multiplats. They might be able to show off, I don't know, Fable fucking 4 if that's being created, or any number of fucking things. They have no competition. They can't possibly have a bad show. And they've got a new console to show off, so they can just show a bunch of games running on their new fucking console. We didn't get any of that. We got a bunch of fucking games that will be fine to buy on the PlayStation 4. A lot of filler. And that was basically it, aside from the Forza, Gears, and Halo. Every fucking goddamn exclusive that you're sick of with Microsoft. Fucking Forza, Gears, and Halo. Again. Now, granted, I like fucking Gears just fine. But it's not really anything all that new or exciting. Same with Halo. Actually, the Halo trailer, like, Halo can be good, but that trailer looked kind of shit.
No.
Okay. But anyway, that's just my synopsis without going into too much into individual releases and leaks. It's just amazing. Like, I still think that Sony had a better conference this year because they decided not to do anything.
Shit, man, that Devolver thing was better, and it was only 20 minutes long.
It couldn't possibly... That's probably one of the reasons why it was better.
Yeah.
It was more like a story type thing.
Yeah, it was a joke thing, kind of.
Yeah.
No. I didn't watch it. I don't remember what I did. I spaced that. But yeah, we got a lot of Phil Spencer, and I have to admit, the highlight of the Microsoft show for me was Claire. Just doing her usual anti-Microsoft antics.
Yeah.
She made that show twice as tolerable as it otherwise would have been. Just pretty...
Had a British lass in hopes of class, but all she said was, "This is ass."
Fuck off, Rebecca. She's a poet and she don't even know it.
Too bad Claire wasn't there for Bethesda.
See, Claire doesn't have the, like, internalized self-righteous hatred of Bethesda that she has for Microsoft, so I'm not sure it would have played as
It would
well.
have been good though. They focused so much on the fucking mobile games.
We'll get to that. They both focused on a lot of fucking cloud shit, and I think in 5 years I will look back on this E3 as the day when I just gave up and realized that I am no longer the mainstream gaming consumer anymore. Like, if people are cheering this cloud and mobile shit, then I am not the fucking target demographic. It just... So much of this shit just fucking landed at my feet, and I just disdained it. So, clearly gaming is starting to pass me by, and it's sad, but oh well, we'll see how shit goes. Maybe this entire fucking debacle will collapse in on itself. I kind of hope so. I'm willing for gaming to suffer another fucking meltdown if it takes all this cloud shit with it. I have enough fucking games in my backlog to survive a fucking another gaming
50
collapse.
years.
Maybe not 50, but 10? Probably. Anyways, they showed off Minecraft Dungeons, which looked like a mix between Diablo and Minecraft. And at the end of the trailer, they said it was going to be 4-player co-op. I guess we don't really know, as Rebecca asked, how much Minecraft is in the game. I didn't really see too much building, but I wasn't paying all that close attention.
Yeah, I didn't see any. That's why I asked.
They were hyping up the adventure aspect of it, I think it's fair to say.
Well, that's not the point of Minecraft.
Well, it's Minecraft Dungeons.
From the creators of Minecraft.
You know, except for Notch, who is the actual creator of Minecraft. Oh, man.
Heavy on the aspect.
And apparently, Jared said, I don't know where you got this news from, but I'm going to trust you, that it's coming to PlayStation 4. So good job, Microsoft.
It's in the article.
You still don't understand what the fucking exclusive is or why to have them. But I guess that's good for me because it means there's absolutely no temptation to buy an Xbox. They keep doing this. Like, Microsoft is super generous. They really want a no-pressure
So
hardware
all the
sales
games
tactics.
For PlayStation and PlayStation.
Like, here's all these games, and here are all the reasons why you shouldn't buy them on our console. Thanks, Microsoft. You make my life... You know what? It's actually a good thing. Because if I actually had a reason to buy an Xbox, man, would I be fucking sweating after this year's E3.
I'd be broke.
How are you not broke already?
Good question, actually.
The Outer Worlds is going to launch on October 25th. They showed off some gameplay for it. Honestly, it didn't look that impressive, but you don't buy Obsidian games for the gameplay and combat. You buy them for the story and the RPG elements, so I'll not look down on this one too terribly much right now.
Basically, it looks like a 3D Fallout game, but with an actual good engine.
With a good engine, and I guess you can't even say it has bad animation, because Bethesda can't animate for shit either, so... I'm just saying, the gameplay, you know, it didn't wow me. It was just kind of there. Again, a lot of out of context clips and snippets, which seems to pretty much be what they're exclusively doing at this year's E3, so you really can't get a grasp for anything.
Yeah, that's disappointing. Like, some of the games kind of piqued my interest slightly, but I don't know anything about them.
Maybe Ubisoft will do better, because they've actually had a history of doing better, especially with the Assassin's Creed games, and I think Far Cry. If you need a fucking gameplay demo of Far Cry, I don't know what the fuck to tell you anymore. But,
So just a quick question. Are you doing the, you're downloading the DLC right now?
I'm downloading it, yeah, while
Alright.
I play this, but there's no guarantee when I will have it downloaded. My ISP is slow, but I'm streaming and Rebecca's downloading it too, so, you know.
Yeah. Trying not to do anything else so I don't take away from the bandwidth.
The precious,
Yeah.
Wait. Nah, well... it doesn't matter. Next we saw more Cyberpunk, and we didn't see any gameplay, but man, was this a fucking step up in terms of graphics and animation. It is a little disappointing, but to be fair, we saw nearly an hour of it a year ago, so if you're not sold on the gameplay yet, I don't know what to tell you. You've seen nearly an hour of it by now. Maybe I'm giving them too much credit. But they basically showed off
the
Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
What's that, Greg?
I was about to say, the ending was a big surprise.
Yeah. I have to avoid being a hypocrite here, and it's easy for me to do so in this case. I don't like actors in my video games. I don't know why, I just have a visceral dislike of it. So I'm not a big fan of this, but at least Keanu Reeves isn't a giant fucking douchebag, so he was charismatic enough on that stage. He was entertaining, so if you're gonna do a crossover, you know, fine, whatever. It's not gonna get me to fucking buy the game any more than I was going to. It's kind of But at least he seemed fucking excited to be there, and he doesn't have a reputation for being a douche puppet like a lot of fucking actors do. So I guess we'll call it fair enough in that regard. And before the conference came around, there was a leak of the collector's edition, and sure enough, shortly after the Microsoft conference went off the air, they were listing that fucking collector's edition. $250 fucking dollars. But it's got some pretty sweet ass swag, I have to say. Probably not $250 worth. If I was to look at every piece of swag in there and try to value it, I probably wouldn't come above $150, being very generous. But I bought it anyways at Best Buy. It saved $50 doing it, which is pretty fucking sweet. I'm gonna fucking miss GCU when it's gone. So yeah, there's my splurge for the year so far, and Final Fantasy might be next. We'll see. Are we splitting this collector's edition, Rebecca?
pretty cool. So,
You
and
decided-
I don't think we want to pay $500.
We're not getting 2.
So,
I can
we'll
say
see.
that. Well, I just didn't know if you like, because with The Witcher 3 you were super hardcore for that statue,
Yeah.
and in this case I don't care about the statue in this either.
Oh. I was thinking I had like the pins and.
Yeah. Well, it doesn't matter. We'll see. We'll split the bounty later.
Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of cool stuff, but I'm in it for the steelbook and the.
because I hang them off my purse and then I have that swag to look at.
I'm in it for the steelbook, the art book, and in this case, I think we get a soundtrack, but it's digital, so who cares? So we'll determine that later. But yeah, 125 if we're splitting it. I don't really care about the statue, and probably don't care about all the pins and stickers and shit either. Anyone else getting this collector's edition?
I got it.
You did? I'm
Yeah.
actually surprised. How fucking hyped are you for this game?
Yeah, fairly.
Scale of 1 to 10.
Do a 9.
Okay. I was gonna say, I'm at about a 9. Like, I think this is right up there with Final Fantasy VII for, like, the game to fucking play in 2020. Actually,
Well, I'm a huge Cyberpunk fan. I mean, you guys have heard me rant about fucking Shadowrun enough times to know that.
you mean Cyberpunk the genre, not the actual
Yeah.
game system?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, Cyberpunk was a genre well before it was a game name.
Well, I mean, it
I
could
couldn't
be
really
one or the
hear
other.
the character's voice too much.
Yeah, it was
So,
kind of bland.
Like, I think, yeah, I'm not sure how I feel about the male character's voice. But that female character, I liked her voice.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
She-V looked awesome in the fucking...
I may
Last
actually
trailer,
have
so.
to play a female.
Oh, I totally am. I fucking dig the whole punk chick look. It's just great.
Well, I already, like, wear cyberpunk hairstyles, so...
Fair enough. Yeah, kind of.
That's why I like playing things like men, because I'm not one. So.
Well, yeah, I mean, why go through a
something
video
different
game
from
playing
myself.
something that is yourself? I never understood
Right?
that. Like,
Well,
you're
big,
doing
big,
escapism wrong.
Cyberpunk hair. Yeah, I don't need that. I'm already that.
So,
I
we
still have
should
augments.
pool our powers together, Greg, and try to get someone to pay us to write for it.
Try to get some what?
Try to get someone to let us write for it.
Like, hey,
Oh, yeah, we probably should.
Because that's going to be a fucking guide. Like, Final Fantasy VII, something tells me it might be somewhat meaty, but Cyberpunk is... I would put money on that being the bigger guide, by far.
Any indicator.
Well, plus it's going to be chock full of choices and consequences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, what? And the worst thing being a guide writer is choices and consequences.
Yeah.
That's a
Rebecca,
lot of
Witcher...
fucking- that's a
Witcher
lot of
3.
reloads.
Yeah.
I need to go play that.
Yeah, you do. You don't get to play Cyberpunk until you beat Witcher 3.
I need to beat it too.
Same goes for
Yeah,
you,
me
Ari.
too, actually.
Same goes
Yeah.
for you, Greg. I will
mean,
I
impose
actually
this
did
rule
start
on every
playing
dog.
again recently.
Too many people spoke at once.
I-
didn't say that.
Yeah, it's all the people expressing their shame and not having fucking played Witcher 3. It's a travesty on this podcast. We also had the news
Well,
that
it's your
Microsoft...
fault,
How's it my fault?
but I
Paul
didn't.
here? Speaking of travesties.
I don't know if he's available. Invite him.
Yeah. Oh,
He
he's
was
not
in
on
another
Facebook.
party earlier, so I didn't know what he was doing.
He doesn't do Facebook friends with coworkers because he's had problems with that in the past.
No, he's
so he
absolutely
doesn't
right
have
to do that. He is 100%
Yeah,
right.
I 100% agree with that.
I disagree. I think if you're an adult that has self-control, you don't need to block your friends from work. Why would you do that?
Yeah, you're
'Cause
an adult.
Take proper time off.
Let-
don't
let-
lie.
let's say this.
and you'll be just fine.
Maybe you're an
If you're an
atheist and you
adult,
work in Kentucky
Yes. Yeah.
and you don't want your
Well,
coworkers.
then maybe. I mean, I only use my fucking Facebook for my fan page, to be honest. Like, I don't express the fact that I'm an atheist.
Yeah, well, my personal Facebook, I express my disdain for religion, so...
Well, I guess you don't want me to contact you when you want to be on a podcast, because I really have no way to get a hold of you then.
She won't even get Discord either, so Rebecca's just beyond the pale.
Oh, Greg is on my Facebook.
I'm saying
Greg's not my
Paul
coworker.
in this instance.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
He
that,
wants to
that's
talk
just
about
how that
me.
goes then.
You can
You
send
made
him a
your
message
choice.
on PSN if you really cared.
I mean, I guess I could. Is
Whatever.
he even on? I don't know.
Here, I'll send
I went
one.
to
I'm not in the middle of a game. Let me go send one.
Oh.
Friended me.
I mean, I'm just saying that's an okay. It's an okay thing for some people, but you know, you're
Well,
just gonna cut out a swath of people. who
to be
choose-
fair,
What was his,
I think
what was his name?
See, look at that.
No, I know it's all, but I mean, what was his screen name?
Oh,
BBQ,
you know,
some
I'm not
weird
sure.
shit, I think.
Brew BBQ?
Oh, barbecue Matt? No, not barbecue. Master.
Brew BB...
Brew-
or
brew-
Brew
BBQ.
BQ 8098.
Yeah.
He's playing Borderlands. So... I'm gonna say, where you at, bitch?
Oh my god. He's gonna be like, who the fuck is this fucking person?
Well, you're not from work.
To be fair, he should probably know you well enough that you're probably not gonna, like, narc on him.
Yeah, well, how about you only invite or trust the people that you know well enough? Then?
Well, I mean, I would send him a message, but... PSN.
What are you gonna do? Yeah, I wrote the Witcher 3 guide in 5 weeks, 5 days, and that ended up being like 770 kilobytes in that time, and that was fucking brutal. It killed Rebecca before she even fucking got to Velen. Like, she tapped out at that point. No, she was in Velen, you tapped out at that quest where you fucking can recruit Letho.
I mean, I finished that, but... Yeah, it made me go.
Yeah, welcome to my job.
I don't... You like your job.
Reloading happens. It's kind of part of the job. Not always the most fun part, but, you know, sometimes you gotta do it.
I'm gonna use my phone, since apparently fucking PSN is my PlayStation.
We got the news next that Microsoft purchased Double Fine Productions. So another studio swallowed up by the cavernous maw of Microsoft. And on one hand, I want to say that, you know, considering what they have Ninja Theory doing, ugh. But on the other hand, that was a game supposedly being worked on by a smaller team for years before the acquisition. But I don't know. Then again, Microsoft doesn't seem to know what the fucking exclusive is, so if they want to pay Obsidian so they can make RPGs for me to buy on the PlayStation 4 and 5, have at it, Microsoft. You fucking marketing geniuses. Then we got 2 really weird trailers for Gears. Like, they showed it off, and then they kind of had, like, another fucking trailer where... I didn't play Gears 4, so I don't know the character or the character's name or anything, but some fucking chick was spazzing out. And Rebecca and I played some Gears in the past, so I'm not entirely disconnected from it, but yeah, if I didn't buy an Xbox for Gears 4, I'm probably not going to buy an Xbox for Gears 5. And they went over this in quite some detail, and I'll be goddamned if they showed off any gameplay. Did they show off any gameplay for Gears 5?
No, not really.
Like, they had a long trailer for the 3-person cooperative mode. where I guess the whole goal is to run away and escape from enemies. And then they had some Gears Pop game, which actually it looked kind of cute until they showed the actual game, and then a little bit like rancid garbage, but I guess there's a market for these fucking phone games that look like hot ass. I don't know. I don't know why, but there is. This was a bit of a surprise. They showed off Phantasy Star 2, Phantasy Star Online 2, I should say, which has not been announced for any other platform except for Xbox and PC. At least not in the West. So, if you're a fan of... I think this is free to play. So if you're a fan of free to play MMOs, there you go. As far as I'm concerned, Phantasy Star has been dead since 4, but I guess some people like Phantasy Star Online. And again, they didn't really show off any gameplay. It was just all anime characters doing their fucking poses, and par for the course for this E3 so far, really. Next up is Tales of Arise, which again, flashes of gameplay, but nothing really substantive. Guy pulling a sword out of a chick's boobs, which is a highlight I remember. So.
Hey, there he is.
Hey there. What's up, man?
See? Sending him a message.
We are alive. But you're playing another game? Okay. No, for fuck's sake. Priorities, right? So, why is he grinding you up? Oh, clan. They have Borderlands clans. Oh. Fair enough. Yeah, we were going to be playing that today, actually, but I didn't realize... Like, I thought the DLC just auto-downloaded itself with the update, but apparently that's not the case. So I'm downloading the DLC now, and we'll get to it.
How far along are you?
Oh, let me pause and go have a look-see here. 1.5 gigabytes. How far are you in, Rebecca?
I just joined the game with Jared and Ari.
You can play it?
Yeah, it's done.
You didn't download 5 gigabytes that fast.
No, we're doing a different DLC right now.
Oh. Well,
yeah, it did. It's done.
it downloaded all 5 gigabytes.
Yeah, it's fucking playable.
They're playing a different DLC, they said, Rebecca.
Yeah, I know, but mine is done.
Go to your downloads bar.
Right
I don't
now.
believe you.
It's done.
She's
It's
using all your bandwidth.
downloading.
There,
I just created a level 30 character.
That should not be... Well, sometimes you can play the game before it's fully downloaded. Are you sure it's
No, it's
all...
fully downloaded. It is
I don't believe
Installed
that.
and done on my list.
This is fucking like weird techno sorcery. Our internet is not that
Walk your
fast.
fucking ass in here if you don't believe me.
Well,
and
I'm not-
fucking look.
I don't care enough to stand up.
Jesus.
Then shut your fucking mouth.
All right, Paul. What do you think
It's
about?
fucking
Did you?
done.
Shut up, woman. Did you watch any of the E3 stuff?
We were
Okay.
playing D&D.
Oh. In the form of memes?
Usually.
Yeah. Yeah, these shows kind of sucked, honestly. They were a waste of time. We should have been playing D&D, if anything.
I did watch, before you jumped on, Paul, I watched all the Bethesda one. And they're still talking about Microsoft, so I'll save my thoughts for now.
Oh, Jesus Christ. How many platforms is there left for that to be on? Have you checked it recently? Because I'm pretty sure it's already on there. Shit. Okay, what else we got? Right, Tales of Arise. I think this game actually looks pretty fucking good. Rebecca doesn't like it because she doesn't like anime. But what are you gonna do?
It's like chaos.
I like that the main character doesn't look like a child. And, we didn't really
That's
see
always
enough.
a plus.
That is always a plus. No more fucking Ni no Kuni shit. Let's just make all the characters look like adults for a while. But we don't really know too much about it, so I'm not gonna sit here and praise it too highly, because as is par for the course with this E3, they didn't show off much of substance. We had another Borderlands 3 trailer. Again, not really anything of substance. I'll be damned if they showed off any fucking gameplay. And then they announced that the leaked Borderlands 2 DLC is in fact a thing. It's going to be free, and you can download it now. Now being, about 8 hours ago. Yeah. Then. So. Yeah. Yep. So, just to recap, who has Borderlands 3 pre-ordered? Jared,
I did.
I know you. I know you do.
Yeah, I have Borderlands 3 pre-ordered.
And Rebecca and I do too, although sometimes I fucking question that decision when I play Borderlands 2. Yeah, at least Borderlands 1 was good. Ugh. So poorly fucking balanced. Hey, Hundun. Ow. I don't know why it didn't do any damage to me, but I'll... Wait. Okay, now I'm doing damage to him. Fantastic. We also got to see a very nothing trailer for Elden Ring, which is apparently the From Software and George R.R. Martin collaboration that was leaked earlier. Again, they showed a... Finish the books. I think there's 2, right?
Finish the books. Yeah, he's got 2 left.
It's like on the podcast I said yesterday, George R.R. Martin will give you 2/3 of a fucking great story. So maybe they can run with it from there. Oh, God. Oh, man. So, yeah. I mean, I'm sure somebody got hyped by this, but I just saw a bunch of fucking people posing with their skin cracking. Yippee-ki fucking yay. So, when there's more details, I'll give a shit. You know. But until then, yeah, it's a thing. Something that we'll probably have to keep paying attention to for another year or two. The next gen Xbox, which is right now codenamed Project Scarlet, is launching holiday 2020. And if you want to talk about a useless part of the fucking E3 show, this was probably the most useless fucking thing they did, where they just had a bunch of fucking people talking about the next gen software, like designed down to the silicon, which is just a fucking base for the fucking conductive parts of the fucking processor, so it doesn't even make any goddamn sense. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. I might be paraphrasing.
Were like, I like it because it makes it so I don't want to kill myself anymore. Pretty much.
Oh,
that was
God.
just a lot of them.
No, just go right to the Electron. Like, oh yeah, oh, fuck all them Electron gates that no one under fucking stands. So, like, anyone cares about this. Right. They didn't fucking... Oh yeah. Yeah, you guys don't even know how fucking acid burnt this fucking CPU is. Like, I built a computer a year and a half ago, so no, they're marketing it to people that don't know how it works, and they're fucking saying trivial nonsense to try and like hype up the technology no one under fucking stands. I built a computer a year and a half ago, so I looked up some of the shit. I got a bug up my ass because I wanted to know, how does that little fucking slab of fucking shit that I dropped, well, that Rebecca dropped into a motherboard, how does it do all the counting stuff that makes the pixels flow on my screen? So I went and looked some of it up, and I have a basic understanding of the manufacturing process. Enough that I'm fucking angry by this fucking... Well, not just that. It was a waste of goddamn time. A complete waste of fucking time. They didn't list a single fucking spec, a single fucking feature. They did show a fucking chip socketed into a motherboard at one point, as these fucking idiots inanely babbled on with these They might as well have been talking about blast processing. Except blast processing was trying to hype something up. This wasn't even a good hype. Like, blast processing sounds cool. Like, fuck, that's gonna process some shit.
That's gonna process some shit.
But this was just like, what the... It was incredibly aggressive time wasting on their part. And so yeah, we didn't learn anything about the next Xbox. So maybe that's why Sony didn't show up to E3. They just were like, we ain't got nothing, and we ain't fucking stupid enough to let everybody know we ain't got nothing. Like, maybe they'll think they might be working on something, and they're just working on it so hard they're just keeping it under wraps for now. With Xbox, they left you no clue, or no doubt, I should say, that they're just fucking wasting your time. But to be fair, they also had another fucking stupid moment where they were talking about some new fucking controller they were making, which, by the way, is $180. And they had a fucking blurb when they were showing this controller. They had the controller all exploded apart, right? Because they were showing you all the fucking screws and different layers. And they're like, engineered from the inside out. It's like, yeah, that's how engineering is done. I found this fucking... I went to Walmart and I bought a bunch of these fucking blue plastic trash cans, and I went, I will robot that. Well, I don't know how all the things are going to fit in there, but I saw the fucking case and I went, this is the robot.
That's how roboting works.
So fucking stupid.
Robot the fuck out of that.
Robot the fuck out of it.
Well, it's like the weird science. That's how it works, right? You sing a catchy song.
too big. There's no such thing. Why did that description sound like the lead-off to a fucking heavy metal skit?
It's an actual movie.
There's 2 heavy metal movies, thank you.
No, the thing they're describing is an actual movie.
Oh, okay. Okay. Boobs that come out of a computer. That sounds like every day.
Have you never seen Weird Science?
I do not think so.
Oh my goodness. Yeah.
What the hell is Princess
You've
Bride?
seen... Yeah,
Oh,
we're out
shut
together.
up.
I'm just
You know
I'm
that
just
one.
fucking with you.
Dick.
Jeez, people are about to get fucking offended here.
Pretty sure it's on the shelf in the other room.
Yeah,
Well,
cool.
it wasn't exactly a hello.
Oh man. Are you bailing on us?
Oh. And if they're sitting there fucking crouching in front of you, they're not fucking grinding for you, so... Okay. Alright. Alright. Alright, gotcha.
It'll be just as friendly, I promise.
That's...
Exactly.
Exactly. Alright, see ya.
Yeah.
We also saw Ori and the Will of the Wisps, which actually looked pretty good for what it was. I'm not gonna shit on that. The aesthetics were nice, so... Jared, are you interested in this game?
What game?
Ori and the Will of the Wisps.
Essentially a Metroidvania. So yeah.
I don't know why, it seemed like a Jared type of game. Battletoads got a gameplay trailer. Actually, gameplay. You could actually look at this trailer and go, I suspect this game will play like this. Rebecca, do you want to talk about the Battletoads trailer?
It looks like it's gonna be harder
Oh, God.
somehow. Because I don't know what playing it in that direction looks like.
Well, talk about what you saw so everyone knows why it will be harder.
Well, that corridor that you have to travel on, I think it might be a remake, like an actual remake. The corridor that you have to travel on that's like the hardest part of the game is the actual original.
When you're, like,
No, it's
riding in
now
hover
first
bikes.
person. Yeah.
Or whatever, yeah.
And now it's first person, which, maybe that isn't harder, but...
Well, it wasn't
If you're
hard.
timing on the other thing, you're gonna have to learn a new timing.
I will defend that, because I've beaten that stage before, and if I can do it, it's not that hard. It's just, you have to
It's
memorize the whole
hard
fucking
if
thing.
you are playing with 2 players.
There you go. That's the problem. It's fucking impossible with 2 players, because getting 2 people not to fuck up that many times is
Yeah.
quite a feat. So, I think the strangest thing about that game is it was only 3-player, but as Jared said, there's only 3 Toads, but... Come on. It's 2019, guys. You guys can make a fucking 4th Toad. Make it a gay Toad, or a fucking female Toad, or... There you go.
Toad.
Check some shit off. Or a, tadpole. Whatever the fuck. Diversify your shit. There are a lot more gross bodily functions that you can name that Toad off of, too, so...
Right.
They could have gone 4-player with it. They just chose not to.
Could have named one Smegma or Pink Sweat.
Okay. Well, Rebecca's got some ideas in mind for her game coming up. Dying Light 2 is going to launch spring 2020. Again, I don't think we saw any fucking gameplay of this. They had, what, 2 hours and they couldn't show us fucking more than 10 minutes of gameplay? I think we did see some for that Star Wars game, which they also showed off, but there wasn't really any news there. I don't think they showed off anything more than I'd already seen, so... And I think that's pretty much it for the Microsoft show. Am I missing anything big? Besides Halo and Gears. The Halo trailer was also completely cinematic, no gameplay. And honestly, it kind of looked like shit. 343 Studios are no fucking Bungie. I think that's safe to say. Bungie isn't even Bungie anymore. No one is anyone and everyone sucks, I think is the long and short of this. Anything else? Am I missing? Forgetting anything?
I actually didn't get a chance to watch the Microsoft one, so.
You didn't really miss all that much. Like, I just watched a few scattered game trailers. And they were showing off games, like I think they said 60 or 80 games that they showed off. Which is fine, that sounds like a lot of games. It's impressive on paper, but they didn't show much of any of them. Like, they did. They rapid-fire a lot of games, but they also talked about a lot of stupid shit. So you always felt like you were watching a lot of filler, and then a lot of the games were also filler. And the games that were interesting, you barely saw anything substantial. So it kind of just boiled down to, you saw a lot of shit. I give this conference a 5 out of 10. It was pretty mediocre. You can easily live your life without seeing anything on this conference. In fact, go see the Gears 5 trailer, go see Cyberpunk, and Tales of Arise. And even Tales of Arise is kind of like, they don't show off much.
I just got a beta drop.
Nice.
From that guy in the desert?
No?
From a tree in Tiny Tina's DLC.
I
Well,
didn't think they could drop here. That's cool.
That's weird. Fuck, why the hell am I not in there doing that DLC? I could use some trophy. Oh, fuck, it doesn't matter. And then we had the Bethesda show. Now, I went into this show with fairly low expectations. And I have to say that Bethesda found a way to disappoint me even with that. Easily half of this fucking show seemed like they were talking about mobile games and cloud shit. They were very, very happy about some fucking cloud program they made that would make your cloud games use less bandwidth and stream 20% faster or some shit. I have no care for any of that. I don't care about Elder Scrolls Blades. By the way, it's coming to the Switch. Apparently I'm the only one who owns a Switch on that, who was watching that, who went, I don't give a fuck. So, Jared and Ari are fine with playing it on the Switch, I guess. Whatever, fine.
I mean, it's a free game, so...
Yeah,
Yeah, I might only be playing it for like 5 minutes, depending on...
I'm gonna run into the first fucking, time gate, and I'm gonna be like, this fucking sucks. Not a fan of time gates. Once we got through all the fucking mobile shit, and they also talked about Fallout 76. Greg, do you want to talk about Fallout 76? So we can get some positivity.
NPCs.
Yeah.
That's by far the best thing they could have done.
How bad was this fucking game if, like, it's considered good news when they add in NPCs and dialogue trees? Like, that should be a given.
And it wasn't. And I'm glad we have it. I may give it another try just for that.
I doubt I am. I do not feel like downloading that shit. Oh, but they also are giving us a Battle Royale mode. Like, I'll go back and I'll tell this story. Remember, Greg, when we were playing Fallout 76, and I figured we would actually make something of a go of it that day. Like, we captured 4 settlements, and we were going to... Ow, those things hurt. We were going to farm the fuck out of them. And we captured all 4 of them, and we just, like, had resources built and all that shit. And then the fucking server crashed on us, and we lost all that fucking progress. Without actually being able to gather any resources. Do you remember that?
I choose not to.
Okay. Like, of all the things they need to fix with that game, adding NPCs is one of them, but there's so many systemic structural problems with Fallout 76 that, well, I can tell you one goddamn thing they don't need to be working on, and that's a fucking battle royale.
Yeah, I mean, I would agree with that. They need to make that entire thing way more fun, like stable. I mean, the list goes on.
Yeah, I just...
Well, this is a step in the right direction. I think they're listening. Plus, it's all free. It's not like they added it as like some sort of expansion that you have to pay for.
Oh, God, can you imagine the fucking chief? Like, if they did that. Fuck Christ. So, that was a thing. And I just... Like, I hate how fucking goofy and stupid they're making that fucking game. Like, Fallout always had its fucking cheeky bullshit and dumb fucking humor, but... For fuck's sakes, it's fucking like... Three Stooges fucking slapstick Fallout at this point. Just nothing in that game is serious. It's all fucking stupid bullshit. I don't know. Just... I don't think Bethesda understands what the Fallout IP was, and... I don't know, maybe they don't care because they're making more money with it than Black Isle ever did, so... Good for them. Then we actually got to the highlight of the Bethesda show. They showed off 2 Wolfenstein games. One of them was a VR game, which... it's alright. And...
Yeah, I'll admit that the co-op one with the sisters looks pretty fun.
Yeah, Youngbloods was, I think, the highlight of the Bethesda show.
Really?
Yeah, I think it was the best thing they showed off. I should just go ahead and cover this right now. Elder Scrolls Online sucks. It still sucks. I don't care what they changed to it. They didn't announce any structural changes that were the problem and why we stopped playing that game. You know, like single-player elements in a fucking multiplayer game, and the fact that it's such a chore to play with a party of people because everyone has to go through all the same motions. There's just a lot of fucking time-wasty shit in that game. And they talked about that, and they had a really fucking pretty movie of shit that you will not be able to do in the actual game, and that doesn't even remotely resemble the actual game.
Yeah, like, and it was super long, too. Like, what are you doing?
It was a really good movie.
Oh, yeah.
It just is totally
Nothing to do
detached
with the
from the
game
actual
whatsoever.
game. So I have no idea what they were doing. It was a complete waste of time. I guess it was just highlighting, hey, there's dragons, you can fight them, hooray! Fine, who doesn't like killing dragons, but if you think that your battles in Elder Scrolls Online are going to even remotely resemble that, you're going to be sadly mistaken and disappointed. But yeah, Youngbloods looks pretty fucking neat. It's a 2-player shooter set after Wolfenstein 2 by about 20 years, you know, after BJ humps twins into that fucking lady from the first game. So, good on you, BJ. Keep that Polish-Jewish bloodline going. And Rebecca, which character do you want to play again?
The blonde one.
Oh, okay. You did say that a year ago. So that looked good. There's a high chance I'll buy that one. I might even buy it fucking new because it's $30. So, we'll see. Arcane Leon announced a first-person action game, Deathloop, which again showed no discernible gameplay, just 2 people killing each other over and over again. And again, it was an interesting video, but what the fuck is this game? Oh, I didn't get S ranks on everything. Tears, sad. I mean, what did you think of Deathloop, Greg?
Yeah, it looks like an interesting premise. I just, well, yeah. You know how they could really make that interesting with some sort of a two-player mode, but...
Yeah, do you play one of them, or both of them, or can you choose, or...
Maybe in, like, true arcane fashion, you'll probably pick one or the other, and there's probably two campaigns.
I mean, they made it sound like an old Dishonored formula game where you could go through the level multiple different ways, and fine, who doesn't like the Dishonored formula? But we didn't see any of it, so... and then we saw a whole... Well, no. Don't skip to that. Tango Gameworks announced an action-adventure game called Ghostwire Tokyo. And again... Like, we saw... I'll say this. The transitions in that fucking trailer were really fucking good and interesting. Even though they didn't show off a fucking thing about the game... It was visually interesting enough to keep me entertained, which is better than I could say for most of the games shown off at E3.
Yeah, that was a pure cinematic trailer they showed, which is kind of disappointing.
Yeah, it was a cinematic treat, at least, for what that's worth. But I don't really know anything about it. There's a guy who wears black with a bow. I assume that's supposed to be the protagonist. But again, it was just kind of goofy and weird, so... Don't really know anything about it. Except that it apparently exists. Just an overwhelming fuck ton of that this year at E3. Like,
well,
that's...
Like, you know, even within 1 and 2, very solid games, both of them. This is bound to be a solid game as well, I'm sure.
I mean, it's fine if you don't show anything off and... You're announcing, like, Dragon Quest 11 for the Switch. We know what Dragon Quest 11 is. Right? We don't...
Super close.
What?
I was nearly dead and Jared just ran up when I had, like, a half a second left.
Oh, yeah.
After Ari killed everything.
I'll be
that was
right
me,
back.
with his robot.
But when you're, like, announcing all these new games and just trying to showcase all the good shit on your platform and... You don't really show anything? Like, what's the fucking point? I don't understand this. Can anyone else make sense of this, or defend it, or...
So really any defense for it?
I don't know. I can't think of any. That's why I'm wondering if anyone else is willing to. Like, half the time it almost seemed like I was watching some, like... God, I don't even want to call it, like, a tech convention, but... I don't know. Something geared at industry people instead of geared at consumers. Like, I don't think they were... in some instances trying to sell me anything as much as they were just trying to get me on board with new systems and technology, and that's not what I'm there for. I'm there for you to convince me to buy games. So maybe it's just me, maybe I'm doing E3 wrong. Maybe I don't understand the premise anymore. And then finally, for the Bethesda conference, we had Doom Eternal. And we did see a bit of gameplay for this, so that's actually good. And what do you know? It's fucking Doom. Nothing wrong with that. That's actually a good thing. One of the highlights of the Bethesda conference. One of the few highlights of the Bethesda conference. pretty much looked a lot like the 2016 Doom, but with a lot more platforming. Especially Doom Guy shot a... And I will always call him Doom Guy, not fucking Slayer, or whatever the fuck they want to label him as now. He's always Doom Guy. He had, like, he was able to shoot some chain hook out of a fucking gun, a shotgun, I think. So it must be some attachment you get for it.
Alright, how's your download going?
Let me go look. 3 gigs. Apparently I don't have the secret sauce that Rebecca has.
The secret sauce of not streaming?
Wow. The computer and the fucking PlayStation aren't. They shouldn't be using up the same bandwidth. One is fucking upload, one is download. I mean, you can jump in and play with them. They're doing fine. Only room for 4 people anyways, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, Doom Eternal looked pretty good. Just more platforming than I'd want in my Doom, but what are you gonna do? Maybe they felt they couldn't sex the gunplay up too much more, so they decided to make combat more dynamic a different way. Which was to increase mobility, which I do want my shooters to have more mobility these days, but not if I have to jump through fucking flaming hoops and shit. That's... Oh, fuck, these things suck.
And what was
Oh,
that
they're gonna kill me, yeah.
game we were
Fucking
playing
hell.
Where... Oh,
There's no checkpoint for this. Fuck you, game. You gonna finish your thought?
trying to think how to describe it. It was that free one that we played that was a shooter.
I have no fucking clue what
Like
you're talking
Anthem,
about.
but not Anthem. Got it for free.
Destiny?
Destiny, yeah.
Oh no, that was just you couldn't figure out how to do a jump. No one else had any trouble with it.
Well, that's because the jump thing worked differently for my character. I figured it out eventually.
Yeah, they did make you do some stupid platforming in that. Yeah, I mean, they showed off a lot of mobile shit that I didn't care about, a lot of streaming shit I didn't care about. They showed off a Wolfenstein spin-off that looked good, and they wasted a lot of fucking time by talking to some fucking... Let's be honest, a lot of them look like fucking bottom-of-the-barrel Bethesda fans. I don't know what the point of any of that was. I would say they did an apology tour for Fallout 76, which is what I expected them to do, but then they fucking slapped us in the face by fucking shitting out that Battle Royale, so... No, apology not accepted, Bethesda. I wish fucking Bethesda was dying instead of BioWare. In fact, I wouldn't mind if both of them fucking had financial problems at this point. Let's just fucking wipe out all the old shitty companies. Fucking Griffins. Who needs BioWare and Bethesda when we have CD Projekt and Larian?
I'll be right back, guys.
Oh god, watching this fucking scene over again. And that's all I got for what we saw at E3. If anyone else has any opinions or thoughts, or... I should probably give a score. I give the Bethesda conference a 3 out of 10. Pretty fucking lame. If they would have shown off something a little more interesting, it would have been merely a waste of my time. Instead, it was a fucking insult of an hour.
5 out of 10. Nathan's a grump. Everyone knows it. Everyone knows I'm the even-headed.
No, I give it a 3 out of 10.
Even-headed person here.
Rebecca, what do you give it?
garbage pail.
Yeah, Doom Eternal deserves more than that. Come on.
Nah, not enough to fucking say.
I
it.
mean, I guess if you don't play Doom at all.
I like Doom. Doom's fine. Just
I'll give it
Just
a
what?
2.5.
just not gonna save that show and overcome all the fucking mobile and fucking streaming and fucking fan talking they did, and that fucking kindergarten fucking mother who was talking about this fucking game they brought back from the past, back when id Software was new.
In a mobile phone.
So yeah, no, there was way more bad than good, and it doesn't bring that conference up to acceptable. That conference fucking sucked. That's usually the kind of conference you only see from EA. And you know what, to be fair to Bethesda, we skipped everything EA showed because we saw what they had on the docket and we were like, no. I think the most fair and ambitious of us watched Star Wars and then we're like, that was kind of lame, and didn't even bother watching anything else. So if you want to grade it on a scale that way,
Yeah, 5 out of 10. I stand by my words. Your
Yeah.
reasons are rather pathetic.
my reasons are fine, I think.
No, you're way
Garbage fest. With a few decent things in it, but nothing great.
I'm being super
I give it
generous by
2.5.
giving
Okay.
Doom a 2 out of fucking... Doom 2 points, Youngblood 2 points, and just 1 point for other miscellaneous shit that didn't fucking offend me.
Yeah, it's 5 out of 10.
But then I take away fucking 1,000 points for Battle Royale. So, I'm being too generous with 3 out of 10.
I'm back, guys.
Died.
You died?
I'm sure I did.
Oh. So, Ari, what did you think of these two shows?
I don't know, man. I mean, Microsoft, I just said, give me one reason to get an Xbox, and I still don't have that, so...
Fair enough.
And Bethesda didn't show anything I really cared about. I mean, Doom's cool, but not my favorite. I don't know.
Are there any games that Doom showed off that you are likely to
Did
pre-order?
Doom show up?
The Bethesda showed off?
Yeah. Sorry, what did I say? Doom?
I'll play the free one on the Wii, on the Switch. I mean, I don't know. I don't know, man. Nothing really got me excited.
So what are you guys playing? Can I join as a level 30?
Yeah, they're playing one of the
Yeah.
normal DLCs.
Yeah, I'll send you an invite. Hold on.
Actually, he doesn't need an invite. He can
Actually,
just join.
I have a level 40 Necromancer.
Oh.
That's fine.
I have
You can
a,
join from the player menu.
But
really
30
easily.
is probably
I mean, I did.
better.
I have a level 58 Siren. And I totally plan to play her through that new DLC.
Well, I want to. One of the trophies is Gunzerk for a certain amount of time and use Zero's thing for a certain amount of time. So.
Yeah, I think that'll be made a lot easier by being able to just boost your characters.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we'll get there.
Yeah. And that's it. It's been a pretty disappointing E3 so far, in my opinion. I expected more out of Microsoft. I was a fool. I expected little out of Bethesda. They gave me less. I'm not sure if I'll watch Ubisoft tomorrow, since I doubt we're going to be seeing any Assassin's Creed, but I don't know, maybe. Like, if you strip away Assassin's Creed, Ubisoft really doesn't have much that interests me. Oh, fuck you all. But that's just I don't know. I'm in it for RPGs. I don't really care to see any fucking Far Cry, and they just said Beyond Good and Evil isn't going to be on there, so...
Yeah, and Bethesda didn't even show any Starfield like we thought they might.
Yeah, no... I didn't really think we'd see Elder Scrolls, but no Starfield, no... I guess this was Doom's year. They thought that Doom could hold a show by itself. I personally am not of that persuasion, but maybe other people are, but I don't know. Kind of disappointing. I will definitely be watching the Square Enix show because I had to see more Final Fantasy VII. And I'm already being super generous to this E3 because I already said it would be a good year if we saw some Final Fantasy VII, and I think we're gonna. We might even get a fucking playable demo, like was rumored. So, and we've got a release date, March 3rd, 2020. So that's some shit. After 22 years, we're finally getting a remake of this game, and the release date is out. It's on the horizon. So that's pretty cool. That and Baldur's Gate 3. And of course Cyberpunk. So 2020 has a potential to be a really fucking cool year. Despite the Microsoft show and Bethesda show sucking.
I wouldn't even say potential at this point. I mean, there's some pretty close to sure things happening. So.
That is, well, spring 2020 is going to be fucking crazy. Like, if you're not just ecstatic over what the beginning of 2020 is going to bring you, you've got the wrong hobby. Especially if you claim to be an RPG fan. I mean, I guess if you're not an RPG fan.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Use that move. Oh, they're not going to die, are they? Oh, yeah, they are. Yay! Oops. So, that's it. That's all I've got. So, this will be a pretty short podcast, but yesterday was really fucking long, so we didn't need to belabor everything this time around. Oh, and where did you hear this leak about Final Fantasy VIII, Jared? Or rumor.
I don't know. Someone said it in another Discord.
Oh,
And then I saw the story on Game Rant.
Oh, okay. I'd buy it. I mean, that would be really good for gamer guides if Final Fantasy VIII was ported to the PlayStation 4 at this point. I mean...
Yeah, I'd play it and use your guide.
Good fucking timing. There we go. There's that shit.
Yeah, I've been looking forward to 8 finally coming because I've been planning on doing a big replay of like 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12. Just doing that back to back. Just
playing all your favorite Final Fantasies in a row?
Yeah, well, I like 4, but I don't have it on anything. I have 6 on the SNES Mini thing.
I don't assume you have like a Vita or anything.
No, I don't.
Okay.
I had a PSP. It's somewhere.
Oh, because you can... I think there's a good version of 4 on the PSP, right?
I think so, yeah. I probably had that.
Yeah, I bought that for... I mean, I think it also plays on the Vita, so...
Right.
Oh, this level just goes on and on. Jesus. Alright, but that's all I got. So we can call this an end to the podcast, unless anyone has anything else. Alright, so when's the Ubisoft show tomorrow? Does anyone have that on hand?
4 o'clock, I think.
And then Square Enix is 8?
9.
Yeah, 9 Eastern time. Alright, and there's nothing big coming out before that, I guess, so... Not sure we need to have another show after the Square Enix thing, but you never know. We'll play that one by ear because who knows? They could show off something really cool and I could end up fucking fanboying, so we'll see. But until then, see you later.